Hey, Jerry.
So, I was wondering if you mind if I interview you about Hurricane Katrina.
Yes, you can.
All right. So do you remember how old you were when it happened?
Well, that was 2005. It's 2016 now. When I was born in 1998, I was 7.
7? Yeah, I think that's right. Do you remember what you were doing at all? If you can remember that far back.
To be honest, are you trying to treat me? No, it's fine. But I was watching it on TV. The water was flowing in, and I was just like, God, that's a lot of water. And I saw the big circle thing in the sky, and I was like, oh, it was terrifying.
Almost 2,000 people died.
Yeah, I thought probably more.
All right. Well, thanks for letting me interview you, Sebastian.
No problem.
All right. Thanks, man.
Love you, Miss Fox.
What's up, Jaden?
Hey, Jared.
So you mind if I record you about Hurricane Katrina?
No problem.
So do you remember how old you were when it happened?
I was born in 2000. I was 5.
Okay, 5 sounds right. Do you did your parents ever tell you what happened? Just because I doubt you remember being 5 years old.
I remember. It was all over the news. I was watching some cartoons, and then it just like an alert came on. I was startled, but I continued to watch it. But they did tell me afterwards what was happening. I still didn't understand it, but they told me anyway. But that's it.
That was the first time ever in New Orleans history that they declared a mandatory evacuation.
For real?
Yeah.
Mandatory?
Yeah. They've never had to do that before. And they've had hurricanes before, but never as severe as this. So. All right, well, that was all I needed. Thanks, Jaden.
No problem.
Hi, Ms. F. I was wondering if you would let me interview you about Hurricane Katrina.
Yes, of course, Jared.
So do you remember what you were doing when it happened?
I remember watching the news and hearing the weather forecasts, and the people were really watching the levees to see what was going to happen.
Mm-hmm.
And some people thought those levees would never break, and other people thought definitely they would. And so it seemed like the whole world was watching to see what was going to happen.
Oh.
I remember that part.
Did you know that nearly 80% of the whole New Orleans city was covered by water? Like
Did
completely
not know that
submerged?
it was 80%. I would
Yeah.
have thought maybe like 65%.
Yeah.
80%. That's
The whole city.
wow, incredible. More than I thought.
Okay. Well, thank you so much, Ms. F. Let's see another interview.
Okay.
Right.
Thank you.
Hey, what's up, Mr. Carty?
How you doing, Jerry?
So just wanted to spend a few minutes with you about Hurricane Katrina, if you don't mind.
Sure.
So do you happen to remember what you were doing on that day at all, or seeing?
I don't remember what I was doing on that day.
Did you hear about it after it happened though?
Mm-hmm. I watched a lot of the news reports.
Oh. Would you happen to recall anything specific that you saw on the news?
The things that strike me the most that I saw in the news reports were the people trapped on tops of their houses and the water rising around them, and them being rescued by firefighters, police officers, things like that, helicopters. I remember seeing that. And then the worst thing, obviously, that we saw was what was happening inside the Superdome at the time.
About the whole population, did you know that nearly half of it, population decline, about half, I didn't work that right, basically due to people dying and leaving. City was about 400,000 before, but after hurricane it dropped to only about 230,000 roughly.
I didn't know that. That's a pretty staggering statistic.
Yeah. All right. Well, that was all I needed. Thanks, Mr. Carsey. Hey, Mr. Rouscan.
Hello, Jared.
So just wanted a few minutes of your time. Do you happen to remember what you were doing when Hurricane Katrina happened?
I don't really remember what I was doing when Hurricane Katrina hit. It's a big event, but it's not like one of those events like, well, a little older than you, but like when President Kennedy got killed, you remember that.
Mm-hmm.
A lot of people even remember because they were watching Monday Night Football when John Lennon died or something like that.
Yeah.
But I mean, I remember obviously the events, but because it was kind of, instead of a single quick event, it was a longer event because it was not only the hurricane, but all the aftermath and so
Yeah.
forth. I don't remember the specifics of what I was doing, but I remember the kind of
You were
things
seeing
that-
like the news and stuff though.
yeah, I was seeing a lot of it on news and stuff.
When the hurricane hit and it flooded and everything, did you know that's because, and it still is today, it's because the city is vulnerable due to its bowl shape. It's kind of
Yeah.
shaped like that.
New Orleans is a bowl shape. It's also a sinking city.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's a depression. I think good parts of the bowl are actually below sea level. So yeah, I knew that was the case. Also, if I remember correctly, actually, the flooding didn't take place until after the hurricane had already passed the city, and then all of a sudden the levees started breaching afterwards. So some people thought, if I remember correctly, that we were out of, or that the city was out of the danger zone, and then all of a sudden the levees breached.
All right, well, that was all I needed. Thanks, Mr. Ruskin.
Okay, very good.